Hi friends, Living Fruit with Laura on this very, very rainy, cold day. Each day we continue moving forward to those things that lie ahead, putting behind us those things that lie behind. We focus on our blessings and the lessons from our painful choices and painful past. I've been talking about grief in the loss of my beloved mother on the 12th of March. And we must continue moving forward. I've spoken about giving ourselves the gift of grieving well by deliberately deciding to disengage from those unhealthy relationships and unhealthy interactions. I've talked about how this culture feeds narcissism. What's narcissism? Narcissism is an extremely self-absorbed mindset in which one puts oneself first above all others. And it is considered a mental illness because it really is a mental illness. A narcissistic individual is unable to have compassion or empathy for another person because they are considering only the needs of themselves. It's kind of get my hat on. We can all change. We are all capable of change if and only if we take an inventory and are able to be aware of ourselves and critique ourselves from an objective standpoint and also listen to other people's feedback. Narcissistic individual is not able to do that. If you point out anything, for example, when you blew me off or stonewalled me, I found it hurtful. We make I statements. We all almost have to tiptoe around that person so as not to offend, but they will always become offended and they will avoid and stonewall because they consider themselves to be superior to you. You're not even in their radar. So we've probably all have narcissistic individuals either in our extended family or in the workplace. We must disengage from those behaviors. Let's say the prayer with me now. This is the day my Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. We are glad in this day. We have decided to be glad. We say, I will be glad, not I will try to be glad. This is the day. We are glad today, not tomorrow, not next week, when this or that happens. I will not live in want today. I will not criticize, curse, condemn, compare, or negatively compete. I will be powerful, passionate, live with purpose in the present. And I will get my daily exercise. Yesterday I was feeling extremely unwell. I hadn't been sleeping and I was too exhausted to exercise. So we listen to our bodies. Rest is part of our fitness routine. We do not push through to injury or complete exhaustion. So yesterday was a rest day for me. I just want to point out the obvious here. Most of the time people do not change. We are capable of change only if we are able to take a step back and take a very honest look with feedback other people are giving us, critique ourselves, and want to change and want to do better for others. But very often people do not change because they are too busy running their own agenda. And when I've considered the two individuals in my extended family that have caused me extreme discomfort and angst and unfulfilled relationships because they are narcissistic. Looking back, they have always been that way. It's always all about them. Years and years of history there. Jesus is the same today, tomorrow, and yesterday. He does not change, and he gives us a peace that passes all understanding. And so when we are entangled in the murky cobweb, I call it a cobweb in our brain when we are trying to interact with a narcissist, because we can't. forget it. You can't have a turn-taking conversation or a relationship where you're relating because it's all about them. But consider the fact that if you have an individual like that, either in your workplace or in your extended family, that causes you a lot of discomfort, consider their history. I was considering the history of the interactions and realizing this has always been the case. So if it is always the case, we must accept. We accept those things we cannot change, and that includes people. We have peace about those things in our lives. We accept those things we cannot change, have the courage to change the things we can, and listen to know the difference. I can change myself. I can change my reaction by choosing not to engage, by choosing not to allow myself to get upset. The courage to change the things we can, that is our attitude, our mindset, and our behavior. And the wisdom to know the difference. We cannot change other people. If we consider it a relationship of value, then we want to point out suggestions on how we can have a more effective, more enjoyable relationship. But again, most people do not change, and most people who are self-absorbed cannot see the tears on your face. They cannot. It is indeed a mental illness. So we must love and accept those people in our lives, but also disengage from those unhealthy, narcissistic, self-absorbed individuals, unless we enjoy having cobwebs in our brain. Let's all have a good day today. I was very ill yesterday. I did not feel well at all. Remember that our mental and spiritual fitness is part of our fitness. So if we are focusing too much on the behavior of another person, if we are trying to figure out the behavior of another person, we'll never be able to figure out another person's behavior. We never put on a pedestal or feast our thoughts on the behavior of another person. We do not worship people, places, or things. Looking back on my life, the most angst and unhappiness I've had were indeed regarding individuals with narcissism. And you cannot really relate or have a conversation that's where the other person listens with a narcissist. It's logistically impossible. The key to quality relationships, and I have maybe that I can count on one hand quality relationships, is to listen, truly listen, and mutual listening, mutual respect, mutual compassion. It's not just about one person. So let's guard our hearts because we want to be sane, stable, serene, and strong. Let's get our exercise. Let's cook our meals, have our one ingredient foods, drink lots of water. We do the best we can, and then we start over the next day. Remember, Christ Jesus is the source of our peace, not a person. Christ Jesus is the source of our peace, not a discombobulated relationship that's not really a relationship that we hope will someday become a relationship. We must accept those things that we cannot change. That includes people. We must continue focusing on our Prince of Peace. That's Christ Jesus. Only Christ Jesus can give us the peace that passes all understanding. No person, no situation, and no circumstance will do that. So we never put anyone else above our God. Let's all get our exercise. Walking is an excellent exercise. Lately I've been doing high-intensity interval training. If we want to lose body fat, it is very simple. We must reduce the calories, quit eating the donuts, quit eating all the junk food, and become more active. It's not rocket science. There's nothing new about it. So let's not let today's newfangled trends and fitness fads confuse the issue. To those of us who want to lose weight, we must simply eat less. That's all there is to it. We choose high-quality foods. We get our exercise. Being hungry is not going to kill us. So a lot of it is our emotional need to keep eating food. We eat when we are physically hungry. We do not eat when we are sad, depressed, or anxious, which is a very, very common thing to do. But let's just take a step back and notice that we do that. And as we are aware of our shortcomings, we are then able to tweak those habits and move forward to become more sane, more stable, and more strong. I'm proud of you. Keep up the great work. Living Fit with Laura. to get and stay sane, stable, serene, and strong, living with purpose, passion, power, and in the present. Awesome. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.